Hey everybody, welcome to SideQuest. This is episode 4 for the second season, and we got some change up this season. Unfortunately, Alan has had to leave because of work, but we have a wonderful new person taking his place. We're going to do a couple episodes with them, and this is their first appearance. They're doing SideQuest to get used to their character, and it just seemed right after the last episode to do it this way, as she jumped through the back of the train and landed next to Nora outside when they were in the middle of combat with these weird wolf, bird, antlered creatures that eat hearts, because why not? So as you all know, SideQuest is shorter. This is kind of our dive into like background stuff and let people develop their characters a little bit more. And today, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be getting into a little bit of the background of Miss Foxglove. Man, I'm excited for this. I don't know a ton about the character. We've walked over rules and how everything is, so they are new to the system, but they have played a lot of Pathfinder. So I'll bring everybody on screen here. Hi, Nora. Hi, Ally. How are we doing?
Hello.
Are we doing good?
Doing pretty good.
Ally's not making any noises. She's just nodding her head.
She's afraid I'm gonna bust out the professional widow.
No, I'm just trying to make sure I don't speak over people.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
We do that all the
We're
time.
pretty good about that. A little speaking over is fine, and we all know the counting rules and all that jazz. So, you haven't played PF2. Part of this, we're doing a side quest, but PF2 is actually much easier than people think, and we're going to prove that today, since you haven't played it ever.
Correct.
Correct? Never played it ever. All right. So all the rules are the same. It's basic DCs. You're trying to roll over. There's criticals on 20s, critical failures at 10 plus the DC, and then, critical successes at 10 plus the DC. Critical failures on a 1 or 10 below the DC. Really makes you wonder if you want to do some things in case you're going to fail. So, and not everything has critical failures or critical successes, but I would say more than you saw in Pathfinder 1 or in 5e. A lot of your feats and your abilities have special things that happen when you critical. Specifically spells. Spells have a lot of really cool critical abilities. So if you're using spells, looking through them, that kind of thing, cool. Do you want to say what you're playing, or do you want to just let it come out while we're doing the side quest?
I think we can just let it come out. I think it's already been...
We announced it. Yeah. We announced it. We know what it is. We announced the basics. So she's playing a siren witch, a professional widow, a siren witch. Sirens in this set piece are creatures that are born from a siren and a human during the Sundering. There are a few lineages for them, and I think you said you're going to go with Swindler, right? Is that what you're going to go with?
Fair enough. And that is what we're going with.
The Swindler background. I'm so excited. So the scene's going to be pretty easy. I'm going to cut this now, and we'll dive into it. As she jumps out of the back of the train, the hole that Christoph has made with some magical device that he has, she jumps to the back part of the train and lands in the end of our last episode. Nora looks down and says, "Miss Foxglove." And we're going to cut to a flashback. The camera goes black and mist kind of fills the area. The lights are really dim. You can hear the bustle of people outside the city as the camera draws down onto the top of this semi-elaborate garden. There are guards. You can see lights in the distance of people carrying lanterns. We're in the middle of Hallows. And during Hallows, people dim their lights in memory of those that have passed, and also to remember what it was like during the years of darkness. When there was no light, when there was no sun, there was no nothing. Just 10 years of perpetual black. And they dim them in memory of those who have passed, but also to kind of keep themselves, this is how it could be if we don't keep our wits about ourselves. But the noise that we hear today is people collecting silverware, and you can hear people talking amongst the garden as it comes down to the center of this large burning statue in the center of the garden. Ally, what does the statue look like in your garden? What is it?
The statue is actually a very new one. It's a new piece, so the stone is going to be a little bit like fresher than the established areas of the garden. And it is going to be a very large, almost Ouroboros-looking snake, kind of coiled around itself.
Okay. Snake. All right. Ouroboros snake burning. All right, well, then let's go to the map. Make sure our animation is running. There we go. So there's the burning fire in the center, and what do you look like during this time? And we're 10 years previous to what is going on. You're in, I'm assuming, some form of mourning garb still for this. So blacks and whites in a full veil, I'm assuming, over your face, which is very common during mourning. A lot of times in Athantia, people wear the all black, and as they mourn, they slowly start to add normal piece of clothing back until they feel they are over and they've grieved long enough. So are you in total black still, or are you wearing some other color now? How much mourning have you done, and how long has it been since your husband's passing?
It's been about 6 months, and as far as anybody knows, she has kept up all of the mourning attire. The only thing that has changed is going to be that she has added a cameo necklace to her wardrobe at some point. And recently she has started to wear a little bit extra jewelry that is no longer like onyx, maybe a little bit of emerald or ruby.
What is the pendant look like, the curio that you're wearing? Is it an amulet? Is it big? Is it small?
No, it is very small, delicate, just kind of nestled in a choker.
Okay.
Yeah, simple kind of silhouette looking, but it appears to, if you were to inspect it closer, be made of bone.
Gotcha. So as you're talking to this woman in this big headdress, and she has also her lower mouth is showing, very pale skin overall in the darkness. I will even blow her up a little bit so everybody can see her. She is pale. She's got the black pieces that come down. She seems to be wearing a mourning garb as well. Speaking with you in very silent, smooth tones. And as the camera kind of slides down so you can see the white on her face, she goes out of focus, and back about 50 feet, you see Nora coming down the stairs past 2 guards. Nora, how are you getting yourself into this party that you're not invited to?
I still have my badge.
You are in Cadra.
I started off with the Cadra badge, so I'm flashing my badge.
Can you give me, are you using diplomacy for that?
Yes. I basically come up to the guards, I flash the badge, and I say, "Excuse me, gentlemen, I was hoping I could come in while the party is winding down. I have some business to discuss with Miss Foxglove."
They're both dressed in black garb as well. They're not wearing veils or anything, but darker garb. I say they're gonna probably have on like red bow ties. And they look at the badge and look at you. Give me your roll.
Okay.
We'll start our first roll, I guess, with diplomacy, because that seems the most Nora thing to do.
Let's see. Just looking for my...
And while she's rolling that, because there were hero points left over, Ally, you start with 3 hero points. There's only 3 hero points available during a side quest because no one's playing any stream loot cards. You're going to get your own card with, obviously, hero points, but we're giving you some of Alan's leftover hero points.
Yay.
Yeah, I figured Alan, same thing, right?
Same thing.
Same first letter of a name.
And second.
Oh, yeah, it's true. It's true.
I got 22.
22? All right. So they look over it and they go, we would appreciate it if you keep it pretty quick. There are people here that are still conducting business. If you could not cause a distraction. Who is it you wish to see? We will walk you to them.
Because I've actually never used this badge before in this function, all successes are treated as critical successes.
Oh, fuck me. Are you serious?
Yeah, it's the item you gave me.
Listen, you've never used it. It's not my fault.
Same.
So then they would be...
I just want to talk to Miss Foxglove herself.
Then the guard would be like, "Oh, I apologize. I didn't realize you were the investigator. Miss Tenwick," and they look at the badge and they hand it back to you. And they go, "Miss Tenwick, do you need a private area to speak with her? Is there any trouble that I should warn her of in advance?"
A private area would be good. I do not wish for the other idle hands lead to idle gossip. I do not
So-
wish for anything to spread while I talk to her.
The guard runs past, walks up to between the two, and he kind of nods and looks to the woman next to across from Miss Foxglove. Goes, I do not mean to intrude in your conversation, but an investigator is here to speak to you, Miss Foxglove. Says she asked for a private area to speak. Which area would you like me to pull aside for you? If there's people in it, I will be happy to escort them out.
I suppose patio area will do.
Which one? Are you wanting them to kick everybody out of here?
I want to be near snakes.
Well, it's up to you. Wherever you want that to be. This is your place.
Yeah.
So if you're kicking people out of here, I just want to point out who that person is that he is kicking out. If that gives you any joy.
So much joy. I would say like up here would probably be.
Where at?
Like up here, people can kind of stay around. They seem to all be.
If you're clicking, I do not see anything.
It's right here.
Oh, they're
She's
up there.
right
Oh,
here.
right next to the entrance. Oh, so you're gonna speak out front.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. He says, well, if you'd like to follow me back, and he turns, he says, Baroness, I apologize for the intrusion. And the woman just looks at him slowly and goes, it is fine. Just bring her back to me when you're done. And he will walk you back to Nora. And I will make it so you can control this. There you go. Now you can move it.
Haha. Perfect.
So Nora's up top if you want to join them up here. The guard turns to his Investigator Tenwick. This is Miss Foxglove. You have to keep it short. It is a time of mourning. And he walks back to his post. Well, actually, he walked to the side to let you guys through to walk over here. This is a raised area over top of a flower garden. Inside of it, down below, I'm assuming you have like snakes and animals that live in that like kind of bushed off area. Because as you know, snakes don't go near people unless they are harassed. So they kind of stay within their confines. So yeah,
Right.
if you want to and wish to walk up over to here, that's where you guys can have your conversation. I just know this is not going to go well. I just have a gut feeling.
Do I see Mrs. Foxglove
Yep.
from
she's
where
right
I'm
there.
at? Okay. No, I meant this one.
Oh no, it's all walled
No.
in and
Okay.
trees and
All right,
bushes.
so like
you don't
bushes
see
and
here.
stuff. All right. After you, Miss Foxglove.
And Lillian will probably kind of like walk up and like take a hand and just be like, really, Lillian is more than sufficient. What brings you out here? Is there anything we can help with?
Perhaps, no offense to your guards, but I did request a private audience with you, ma'am.
And she'll kind of motion for them to give space.
Like if you want super private, you could even go over to here in the corner. If you want super private,
The corner is.
up in the upper right-hand corner. Yep.
That sounds good.
Because that's
As
a way
long
for
as I
everybody.
can
It's a separate
see-
set of stairs. You're raised up. You can see into the area, but you can't see like these are like small hedge areas, so they're tall. They're like 8 to 10 foot tall. So standing up there, you can see the area, but you can't see everyone. It's kind of like a raised, I don't know, like 8 foot up, and you're looking down into the garden.
But it
Yeah,
would
if
be
you
a
wanna go
good
there.
way to like have a vantage point if people were approaching, we'd be able to see them before they got
yes.
there.
Yeah, I'm assuming like east over here, or that way heads out somewhere into like land, a little bit of land that you own, maybe like a barn or something along those areas. And then to the left-hand side would go towards the house. So you kind of come down into where the house is, or sorry, the north. The north comes from the house. So this is kind of in the backyard area.
So Nora follows fairly closely behind Miss Foxglove. We waits until she settles into whatever private area.
Sure. Do you have like
she's-
tables or anything over there? Do you have them bring something for you guys to sit at?
She would have a good amount of like patio furniture and like sitting areas set up. So likely a small table, a couple like stools or chairs
Right.
that she would walk over to and take a seat and probably pull out some sort of cigarette or something like that.
The long sticked ones, so you don't
Yeah.
light your veil on fire.
Yeah, Virginia Super Slims.
I mean, it's 1800s. That stuff was common.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they bring over some chairs for you, let you settle down into the area that is up over here. The guard brings 2 chairs, brings water, and what do you drink here? Is it wine? Is it cocktails? What do you have set up for this party?
I'm gonna say probably like some sort of would they have like basil infused water, like strawberry
Whatever the
basil
hell you want.
water?
Whatever you want.
And
I mean,
tea
that's
sandwiches?
very rich. So anytime you have like actual fruit, or like really good stuff, you're loaded because water is a rarity. So that means you're paying to have the water just to have that stuff, which is 100% acceptable. Or you're buying them in market, but you're buying them at a very high rate, like a high price point.
Okay.
But
And
you're rich.
what would you dilute water with?
What do you mean? You can dilute it with whatever you want. You could lemon juice. You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
I
So
mean,
I'm not going to get into that rabbit hole, but
they could have like a pitcher that they come over that has like watermelon and strawberry in it that they strain it through. It could be a watermelon full of water with a spigot on it. I don't care.
yeah, just say like
This is how she
Herbal
selects on how
water.
rich she is.
Herbal water. Herbs are very common. Herbal water. Teas are very common as well because they're easier to grow. So they bring it over and set down on the table, and they pull a little partition over, like one of those like folding partitions, and they put it up so no one can see into your area. And they set it down. They're like, ma'am, if you need anything, just holler. And they walk back to their post. Famous word time. Hey, Nora, are you starting an investigation?
I've been starting an investigation since I got here. My lead is Lillian Foxglove.
Oh, boy.
As
Do
I
you wanna-
talk
Do you want
to
to
her.
pop that on the screen for me
Let me-
so I can
let me
see you're
pop
starting
that.
an investigation?
I am pursuing a lead.
And then Ally can see that as well for pursuing a lead.
10 paragraphs later.
So you start one up, pull out a journal, sit down. Do you sit down, Nora?
Yes, because I'm trying, even though there's the partitions here, I'm trying not to make it. So far, Nora's been usually pretty respectful of people's privacy, even when she's accusing them of things, unless it's stepping on her crime scene. So the fact that she was like, I need to talk to her in private, and then is willing to meet with her out here, Nora would take a seat.
Okay.
Cause less commotion, less gossip.
Okay. So you sit down, and what are you gonna start prodding her about? Because that's what's happening.
Yeah, Nora's respectful of people's privacy and like their reputation, but she's also usually pretty blunt and to the point. So, Miss Foxglove, I apologize for catching you during such a public event in your name. That's one of the reasons I came later when there were less people here. I have been hired to investigate the death of your late husband, Phineas Foxglove.
I appreciate that.
I
think it's long overdue.
Because you were married to him, unfortunately, you are one of the suspects that I've been tasked into looking into. I don't really have much information on the case. I was out of town at the time myself. And so I'm investigating anyone who would have had a motive, anyone who might be a person of interest, anyone who's a suspect. I'm not saying that I'm not assigning guilt to you. It just, you're one of the people that was closest to him. Unfortunately, you're also one of the people that has, and I kind of look over the garden a little bit, who could have profited from his untimely demise. So that's why I was hoping to catch you during a less busy moment in your life.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do appreciate the thought you've put into that. Honestly, you should have come by earlier. It was a lovely afternoon. We would have been glad to host you.
Paperwork keeps me rather busy.
And travel. You had to fly here.
I did. I had to try. Yeah.
And
I
this
had to
would have
fly
been previous to
Yep.
to all good transportation for you. So
Yep.
hell, it might have been a coach all the way here.
Yeah. Fortunately, I just came in from New Bolivar, so it's been a bit of a trek. I guess one of the first things I would like to ask, because unfortunately, this information wasn't provided to me, like, as I'm kind of like reading through my notes and kind of like blaring, thinking about the person who hired me. I'm like, okay. Could you tell me how your husband passed?
Unfortunately, the autopsies were. Would autopsies have been done on him, or would it have just been like, he's dead?
Yep, they would have been done. You're positive that his mother would have hired someone to do autopsies.
Okay. Would they have disclosed any of the information from the autopsy to me?
That's a good question. Would you have pried and got the information somehow? Would you have wanted to know?
She probably, I would say, and this information would likely have already been provided to Nora by her employer as well.
Nope.
No, it wasn't. That's why I'm looking like. That's why you see Nora frowning. That's why you see Nora frowning. Like, unfortunately, the details were not sent to me.
Yep.
So I hate to ask you so bluntly, but could you tell me how your husband passed? Like, Nora doesn't look like already Nora's got that look of like someone tampered with my crime scene and it was 6 months ago and I'm still angry about it.
So I would say this: how would you have gotten the information? Would you have went to where the autopsy was and pried the information from the people who did it? Would you have tried to get it from his mother? Would you have stolen it? Would you have used your new abilities to get a hold of it?
I think that the information that would have already been provided to Nora would be that shortly after his passing, Lillian just up and left. They basically grieving period. Became a bit of a recluse, didn't really do much for probably about a week, and then after the funeral, she just kind of hit the road for a little bit.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that Theodora would have locked Lillian out of anything, despite her best efforts. So she would have made an attempt, and then just split and came back so far after the fact that she would not necessarily have a lot of information on that.
Okay. So, again, then, would you have tried to get it at all when you came back, or no?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
who do you go through for it? I just basically want to know, are you prying mommy, or are you going to the people who did the autopsy and using your new abilities as a witch?
I would go to the folks who performed the autopsy.
All right.
Who have the paperwork.
I would say with that, then I'm just going to make a save because I know you have some abilities to command people and do stuff like that as a witch, which I did okay. What is your save DCs on your character? Do you have that written down?
I sure do. I just need to find it.
I believe you are level 8, so mostly your stats what's going to matter. And training and that as well.
One moment. Tabs open.
Oh, you're fine. So I rolled an 18. I'm assuming that your DC is way over that.
It is 26.
So manipulating them, you found out that the mother has paid them off to hide the autopsy records.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Bringing us back to now might be the reason that she's here. Because you just came back around 6 months later after you just disappeared. Now you're back. Now she's worried.
Okay. That's fair.
So again, I'm like, and I'm already there's like a little, there was a glint of suspicion in Nora's eyes when she looked at you, but she was trying like very hard to not be biased or too judgmental. And then as I look through my paperwork and I'm like, apparently the person who hired me to do this did not provide information on your husband's death. And you just see like that glint of suspicion kind of fade. and like go like internal, like if she's like frowning at the paperwork she did get.
Yeah, I think your paperwork would say things like deceased, autopsy report shows. Would it show that? Probably would show death by unknown substance. Record incomplete. Body too damaged to discern passing.
Death.
Yeah. Because they don't pass, they don't pass judgment on anyone. They just go through and break it down. And at this time, surgery was still something that was new. Like they were still learning to do it. Now, rich people usually just go to the True Faith, use magic, and pay them. Didn't do it.
Right.
There's no True Faith magics that were used at any point in time during the investigation of his death.
So, Lillian is probably just gonna bite her tongue a little bit, and you see her kind of almost grimace smile as she goes, unfortunately, the circumstances surrounding his death were not provided to me in full. I believe that the matriarch of the Foxglove family may be a more appropriate individual to question in that specific matter.
Throwing her under the carriage.
I can tell you that he expired overnight in a study when I had gone to sleep.
What would you like to do with that?
Is it worth doing a sense motive to see if Lillian is lying to me?
What's your passive?
My passive is right now it'd be a 28.
Pretty sincere.
Okay.
Like she's not really lying about anything. Nothing's being hidden. No real rules needed against that, because that would be high enough that unless she was actually lying to you, there's no reason for you to roll. And right now, everything she's saying is being on the up and up, right, Ally? Foxglove's being pretty. That's a thought.
Okay.
So, what would you like to do with the information, Nora?
The frustration on my face is the frustration on Nora's face, right? Like, she's just like... So she stops to collect herself a little bit. She's like, deceased. Record she's like flipping through again. She's like, Phineas Foxglove, deceased, record incomplete, body due damage to discern actual cause of death. Miss Foxglove, Lillian, sorry. Was Phineas or his family followers of the True Faith? Were they? I mean, I'm not talking popping in on a devotion and saying your Hail True Fathers or anything like that. But I mean, were they? Actually, no. She would like. Did they follow the True Faith? I mean, it could have even just been like, yeah. Were they devoted, or did they just pay lip service? Or perhaps did they have other religious beliefs? Because I'm noting in the notes that I was given regarding his passing, they didn't call the True Faith in, and normally families that are well off are able to call the True Faith in to have them do things such as examine the body, use magics to figure out how he might have passed, if there was foul play involved, making sure that his spirit was bound appropriately instead of being lost through the ether. But in this report that I was given, which is very sparse, there's no mention of the True Faith being involved at all.
It's up to Ally.
Did his family follow the True Faith, or at least pay enough lip service to have them come take a look at his corpse?
This is kind of nice having someone who hasn't played Nathantia, because I get to explain Nathantia to the audience as well. So, Ally, the True Faith is a theocracy. They rule most of Ingrad, the area that we are playing in, the country that we're playing in, up until the Maw, which is the big dividing, think of it like the Rockies, but it's a big dividing mountain range. And your patron is from out in that area as well. So my question to you would be, not everyone follows the true faith, but openly, you usually don't say you follow like a keeper or something else. Because if you're, for example, you're in the Capitol right now, where the true faith is based out of, that's like being at the Vatican and going, nah, I don't follow God. So that's what it's like here. So you pay lip service, or you don't wear an amulet. And someone asks, like, oh yeah, of course, I just don't wear things of value. You come up with a reason. But rich families, I mean, they are known to find old keepers and follow old gods and do bad shit. So my question would be, do you know if they follow the true faith, or if they're non-believing people, or do they follow something else? Totally up to you. It's your background.
As far as I know, they do all follow the true faith. Granted, whether or not it is simply lip service is another matter. How do I say this? Theodora and I don't have conversations on that deep of a level.
Was your husband at least a follower of the true faith?
Yes.
My job makes it so that I don't judge harshly as others might if they perhaps just pay lip service on devotion day. But I feel like this is somewhat important. So as far as you know, he actually did follow the true faith.
Yes, he was very interested in learning all sorts of. He had a passion for digging into other perspectives, but at the end of the day, yes, he was a follower of the.
I just put Diggs, and I should have put Doug because he's dead.
Yeah.
Oh.
Other perspective. Did any of his? You say he loved looking into other perspectives. Did he come across anything? I don't want to say questionable, but did he come across anything that may have given him pause, or may have caused him to act differently around you or anyone else you might have noticed?
Coming across
members of the family, or any business partners.
Something so much as a snail in a room he hasn't seen before would give him pause. He would fixate on every little thing when there was no additional meaning whatsoever. He was a bit of a neurotic personality. I'd be more than happy to show you to his study, but before I do have to ask, you never mentioned who exactly is hiring you to investigate where you wouldn't have this information up front.
I normally keep my clients' privacy private.
This is early in your investigation career, though, or a little earlier. So that's up to you. I don't know if Nora was ever sloppy.
Yeah, that's it. Like, she's still new-ish, and she's still like getting her bearings and stuff. But I think one of her things, like one of her core tenets, was professionalism. Like, be honest, but also be professional. Yeah. Don't out your clients. So she'd say, unfortunately, I do not give out that information freely. Although I am very upset about the lack of information I have been provided. And the fact that I've been given no other leads or suspects except for you. I'm fairly sure you can put some of that together on your own.
I can more than empathize with that entire situation. It sounds very familiar.
Did you happen to get a copy? I mean, it sounds like you've just come back into town somewhat recently yourself. Were you able to actually acquire a copy of the autopsy report? I'm somewhat familiar with crime scenes, forensics, things of that nature. I'm actually a forensic investigator when I'm not working on cases such as this.
And I would not have gotten any of that.
Okay. Then no. Nah, it's up to you. They gave you the info you wanted. You could have got a copy. You used the spell. Mm-hmm. That's up to you. It's up to you how much you plan on fucking over his family.
Okay. So, I would want to be as upfront with Nora and just have this go as smooth sailing as possible. So I would just give her the information that I have, which is.
Did you take like a dossier or paperwork? Did you make the guy who did the autopsy give you a copy? What type of person are you?
Right now, Ally is going like, I wouldn't want to make anybody do anything.
Yeah, right.
So that's
but
like professional now.
You picked the wrong class for that.
That's okay. I'm trying something new.
I would posit that you would, just because if you're suspicious about how he died and you wanted to investigate it yourself to like clear your name.
I was gonna say, look, you're being blamed right now.
You're being blamed right now. I would think, like me as Nora, if I had the ability, I would have been like, yes, please give me a copy of that.
You were blamed before you left. You left for 6 months. You're being blamed when you come back. I mean,
I'm just so tired. Yeah.
Okay.
So would that be in your
then
office,
you can
then?
produce paperwork. I'm fine with that.
Sure. I would have kept it in his study.
So do you leave to go get it then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes,
So
I would be more than happy to take Nora to his study.
So as you leave to go get it, would you take Nora in the house? Or would you just bring it back here?
I would take her in the house.
Okay. So as the camera transitions, the group starts to walk out from the area that they're standing in to go and head towards the house to get the information. There's a loud scream from inside the courtyard of the garden. And then it goes silent. And you can hear footfalls, people running down the cobblestone as they're making their way into the main courtyard. The two of you can hear this scream as you're getting ready to go past the guards and make your way there. My question to you would be, what would you do after hearing the loud screams?
I would go investigate in case there's an issue because I guess we've never actually clarified it, but I mean, Nora's been around for a really long time. She could actually be a doctor, like an actual physician that just went into...
That's up to you.
Being an investigator, because she got her start patching people up on the Volg ships when they found her body.
It's totally up to you.
There, she became more of an investigator and started using her medical skills for autopsies and stuff like that. But
whatever you think you would do is what this comes to.
So Nora closes her book and makes to go towards the screaming, and then she looks at Lillian like, is one of your guests ill? I do have some medical training. I can take a look at them.
Lillian would be kind of like gaining composure, and she's just gonna go, I'm sure everything is just fine, but I do think that we should go take a look. Would you mind if we paused this conversation for just a moment?
No, of course not. And I get out of my chair, and then I kind of wait for her to follow. And then I'm gonna make my way down.
So as you guys make your way down, the crowds are talking and bustling, and there's whispers between us. Did anyone see what happened? And everyone's like, no, I didn't see anything. And you hear a woman over here go, oh my God, I don't think she's moving. And the woman walks closer, and there's a woman holding a lantern with a green light, and she has her hand the lantern out and hand up, like she was getting ready to draw something from her hair. So on the screen, you'll see that where everyone's kind of crowded around. The guards are at the door. They are making their way back as well right now. But you can see that everyone's kind of crowded around this statue that is in the middle of the walkway that was not there previously as you guys make your way down the stairs and into the area. Woman goes up to touch it, and sure enough, it's stone. And out of the mouth of this woman with her mouth open, you see a snake crawl out along with another one and then another one. And they start to flow out and fill the area, and everyone starts to scream again. Nora, I'm assuming you're not afraid of snakes.
No. I mean, they could try and choke me to death, but I don't breathe.
So people start to pull back from the area as snakes start to flow everywhere. This woman starts to fucking run away from the scene. And these people step back as the snakes just kind of crawl out and start hitting the bushes and making their way away from all the people. What would you like to do, Nora? And also, is Miss Foxglove staying around or backing away? What are you doing?
So just to confirm, this is the statue.
Yup. You recognize the woman immediately. Nora, you recognize the woman immediately as well.
I swear. I'm like, fuck. And I go over.
The person who hired you.
I go over. Fuck those snakes. I go over.
So if you walk through them, they kind of disperse around you. They're small. They're not large snakes. But they are like blue with black rings on them as they're scurrying away.
Lillian would also approach and just probably run like just a hand kind of down the side of the face and just kind of go,
no, you don't. She's about to. And I'm like, do not touch the crime scene. Like she's about to, and Nora just instinctively like goes like,
damn it, Ally, you made that shirt. What are you doing?
And like just like not even like just no, do not touch the crime scene. As I start looking around. Okay, so we've got these snakes with blue black rings. We're not in the tide, so I can't do that. But I am going to use imprecise undead sense.
Okay.
30 foot out. No one dead. Double damn.
No one dead anywhere.
Keepers take us.
There are I shouldn't say that. There are ghosts around. There are ghosts.
Okay.
There are spirits, stuff like that, but that is normal during hollows. Like, they are everywhere.
Well, one of the reasons I was looking is because as everyone's running away or standing around, whatever, I know it's going to be a real quick glance, but does anyone look like they might be faking it? Like they're... Give me snakes! And
give me a perception for sense motive. Foxglove, what are you doing during this when she kind of pushes your arm away? What are you doing? Are you doing anything? Are you stepping away? Are you looking around?
Okay, I do have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Would the snakes be considered crime scene?
I mean, do you care?
No, but she wants to be respectful.
There's, I would say, probably a dozen that escaped the mouth and went out into the area, and they're all that blue and black color.
So I think I'm like, don't disturb my crime scene, and I like stop, and I'm like, could you get one of those snakes for me though? As I'm looking at the statue, because I feel like this thing is like for preservation of reptiles. She's the one hosting it. She can't be afraid of snakes, right? So I ask her to grab one of them.
So I have a question that I don't think we discussed when we made your character when we were working together on it. Are you good with animals?
Do
you have the ability to do anything with animals? That's a really good question. This might be something that you're realizing quickly that you might want to train.
I believe that I can communicate
with them. I think your patron might allow that under your.
I think so.
I got a natural 20 on my sense motive.
Fuck. Okay. So I think you can speak with them. So give me a diplomacy since you can speak their language. You don't have to use animal handling.
All right.
You get to roll your first die. Do you have dice for her yet? Do you have dice for her? They're green. Of course, they're green.
So that for diplomacy.
Yep.
19.
Yeah, 19. Okay. Do you have any special abilities or feats that go with diplomacy right now? Since you got all these cool special abilities. I don't think you're sowing a rumor.
I mean,
I don't think you're distracting.
I was gonna be like, can I flatter a snake? Is that a thing?
You're speaking its language. I mean, you could try to flatter it, but you're not trying to distract, though.
Look at those handsome scales on you.
The best ringed thing ever. Probably not. Probably just a regular check, I think.
Yeah.
You rolled really
Okay.
low, didn't you? You got a plus
19.
16.
Yep.
You rolled a 3?
Yep.
Would you like to use a hero
Yeah.
point? You can re-roll.
Yes. Yes, I would. Okay. That's actually that is much better. Okay.
Yeah, it's not a 3.
Yeah. That's gonna be a 25.
Okay. One of them crawls over to you, you pick it up, and it kind of crawls up your arm, and like its face is looking at you and kind of making eye contact and like sensing the air. Are you asking it anything? They have a very low intellect.
Okay. I don't think I would be asking it anything.
Okay,
now.
so you're just holding it for Nora. Nora, natural 20.
Natural 20 on my sense motive.
The woman
Who's
looks like she was
pretending?
using the, like, as you walk around the statue, she's using the lantern to see where she's going and just darken this area between these brushes. She was reaching behind her head. You notice that she's pulling out a small stiletto that was holding her hair together. Her hair is, everything is stoned now. Her eyes are stoned over. The mouth is agape. The creatures have kind of flown out of her, or crawled out of her. But when you get near it, you can still hear something within the statue, but it's faint. And it sounds like a heartbeat, but it is like boom, boom. And then there's like a fucking minute pause.
Okay, so that was the perception for the sense motive, like to see if any of these people were.
Everyone else fucking ran.
They all ran. So it's
Yep.
just the statue.
With the natural 20, though, what you do notice is one person never moved. She stood perfectly still. Woman back here just stood still, never moved.
Okay.
And she's just watching it. Her hands are. She have a drink in her hand. She would obviously be sipping something. Her other hand is just at her side, and she's just watching. She didn't flee. She didn't do anything. There's snakes crawling by her, not moving, fearless.
Fearless. Okay.
The guards at this point would be making their way down with their rifles and their pistols to see what's going on. And they see you investigating. They're like, Miss Tenwick, is there anything going on? What happened?
I am unsure, but she's still alive. We need to get either True Faith or a doctor here, probably both. She's got a heartbeat.
The statue. Also, that statue was never there before. We don't own that statue. That's not part of the garden.
I'm aware of that. There is a scream.
I rolled
and then
3. They didn't hear shit. They have no idea what's going on.
Please just summon some sort of assistance from the Faith, or
So, one guy runs off to go do
And,
what you
like,
asked.
so. I actually would have this stuff because I still would have my healer's kit. So, like, underneath the dress jacket, because this is Nora when she still didn't have very good clothing. I mean, it's okay, right? But like underneath it is like this ragtag like set of like healer's tools into the bandolier, and like looped under one is like a stethoscope.
Yep.
So I pull that out and I like actually put it over the heart.
What was a minute is now 2 minutes between.
Can I roll occult or religion to see if I can figure out what happened?
Medicine.
Medicine?
Medicine for how long she has to live. Are you looking for, or like what actually happened to her?
I'll do medicine for how long she has to live first.
Okay.
And if there's a way to prolong this without the use of magic.
Okay.
Yeah, that look. Yeah. I'm gonna hero point that because that was a 1. And
All
I
right.
want her to live so I
Mark
can
the
yell
hero
at her for
point
not
off.
giving me the entire background. Like, I want you to live so I can yell at you later.
Just need someone who can speak with stone.
It's only a 25.
If the heartbeat keeps slowing, normally this is not how somebody dies. 1.
Right.
Do you have... You said you have a cult, but I don't think this would... I think this would fall under arcane.
I do not have arcane, and I do not have...
Whatever turned her so, you see no marks, no wounds, no nothing on her. That's the
Okay.
biggest problem right now. So it's got to be a spell. Or maybe
I
a potion or something.
I say that out loud. I said it either has to be a spell or some sort of potion. I can't figure out what happened, but she doesn't have... Like, now would I roll to see, like, how quickly I think she's going to pass?
No, that was what the medicine was for. It's slowing. By the time, like, you've done that before, like, if someone's going to get help, you're talking like 15, 20 minutes before a fucking physician shows up, if not longer. If they get a priest, the priest will show up, but it's a city and there's no telephones.
Right.
Like, you're talking ethergraph is the best communication. They would send it to ether post. The ether post would then go get someone, and then one guy's probably running out in the street trying to find the nearest church to go grab someone from the true faith. Like, this person, unless it can be solved here, they're stone.
Okay.
I don't think you have the ability to stop stone.
No. No.
Does Foxglove have a way to stop someone from being stone?
I'm like, she must have been either poisoned
She's
or
like, nope.
Some sort of spell must have been cast. I can't.
You don't.
We don't have much time.
When you turn back and look at the crowd again, the woman that you saw standing there calmly while everything was going on is no longer here.
Fantastic.
And the woman who was like, the woman who was standing next to her was like now holding the empty glass. Like, the woman went here and like gave it to her and then left.
Who was this woman over here? Where did she go?
Oh, which woman are you? I'm sorry, we had so many guests here today. I don't know
The
if
woman
I can...
the woman in the mourning garb, the veil, the huge headpiece, the only one who didn't run in terror when snakes started flooding out of the mouth.
I'm sorry, I don't think snakes coming out of the mouth.
Snakes coming out of the statue's mouth here. The woman that was over here did not flee like everyone else did. And now she's gone.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm sure that we can cross-check the guest list and donations from today, and I'd be more than happy to get you a list of names if you would like to carry on those investigations.
It's fairly important because she might be responsible for this situation here, and also potentially, if this is a family hit, potentially your husband's death. So yes, it is very important that I speak with her. Do you know her? I'm asking it right now. Do you know her?
Oh, I would not have invited people to my house that I didn't know on some level for this event.
Could I get a name? Because she's now a very important person on my list.
Of course, and Lillian is going to call over somebody from just like the staff.
Like a helper?
She's just going, yeah, and she's going to go,
Okay.
would you be so kind as to please fetch some records of the guest list for today?
Of course, ma'am. Of course, ma'am. And he runs back to the house. So in the time that they run to the house, the other woman like sets down the drink and she like wanders closer to a guy, and they're speaking to each other, and these ones are speaking to each other. This guy like edges his way out and makes his way towards the crowd, and this guy pokes around the corner and sees Nora there and goes, "Ma'am, I saw her. I was watching. I was in here having a discussion, and when I looked out, she was staring in the distance, and she just turned to stone, like from the front to the back, like her skin just transformed.
So like
mid motion.
I'm taking notes and I'm nodding, and I'm gonna go over to the glass.
Okay.
Like, as I'm taking notes from him, I'm gonna go over to the glass and I'm going to use my forensics kit to pick it up and bag it as evidence.
Oh, the woman's holding it. The other woman's holding it. She handed it off to her.
I'm grabbing it from that woman.
She goes, "Oh, why? Sorry." And she lets you have the glass, and she kind of wanders a little bit away from you now. And now they're all watching you like forensics. Foxglove, are you doing anything during all this?
Because I'm taking it so I can dust it for prints, because I have fingerprint dust.
I know. It's so bullshit. It's so bullshit.
While she's waiting for the list, Lillian is just going to walk over and just stand, not touching the statue, but she's just going to light up a cigarette and just kind of look into the statue's eyes for a little bit.
So
it looks like she's just admiring a piece of art.
So my question would be, can you still hear Bartleby when he is not out? When he's in the pocket?
Yes.
Okay. So and they are intelligent, correct? The patrons are? Your familiars are? Okay. So you hear, well, I was really hoping we would take care of her, but this is nice too.
Bartleby, it would have been much preferable for this to have been a little quieter were it to happen. Truly a shame. I can't think of any room that would benefit from this piece.
Oh, we're gonna destroy it. It's worthless. We also don't want anyone bringing her back. The patron would be quite upset if the work that was just done was undone by somebody, especially that investigator.
I suppose that's true. How are you doing? Do you feel like coming out for a little bit?
Well, I wouldn't mind accidentally knocking the statue over.
Okay.
I mean, unless you think that one over there would be angry. And she's like dusting.
Dude, I'm already dusting and pulling prints. I'm using the forensic die to see if oh my god, I'm gonna use forensic die on the glass, and I'm gonna go use forensic die on the statue.
So before you get to the statue, if Bartleby goes, you hear him say, put me in the area behind that man. Maybe we can make the accident a real accident.
And Lillian's just going to kind of look up and shake her head a little bit. You
could make his shadow do it.
No, she's going to let him out.
All right. So you let him out in here. Let me grab the most frightening thing that I think we're going to have on here. What was it? What was it under? Snake? Giant snake? Was it anaconda? It literally has its own thing. Let me close this. So as you let him out, what does it look like? Where does he come from? Does he come from the shadows? Does he come from your hand? Does he come from your mouth? Where?
Oh no, because I have.
And is he large? He's actually large, isn't he? Oh God.
He is thick with 3 C's.
He is a large creature. Great.
So, yeah, she actually has pet cash. So what she is going to do is just kind of take her overcoat and just open it up a little bit, and he's just gonna spill out
of the shadow.
Yeah.
So as he crawls out behind this man. I'm assuming he kind of crawls up over your shoulder, and he's trying to frighten this guy the best he can. When it comes out and the guy turns around, the head is the snake is the size of his head. And he jumps backwards and bumps into the statue. I rolled a 9. Nora, out of the corner of your eye, you see the statue rock. As this guy jumps back in. You don't see what he's jumping away from. But he jumps back and hits the statue, and the statue starts to move. And he turns around and tries to grab the statue.
Get that statue! Don't let it break!
All right, I'm going to roll an athletics check here. It's a statue. I rolled a 9. The statue rocks over.
Worthless.
Cracks the arm off. Cracks part of her face off. Busts the hand behind her head that was pulling out the stiletto as it hits the ground. And he was like, I'm so sorry. Do you keep Bartleby out, or do you put him back into your pocket?
Has Nora seen Bartleby?
Nope. He's inside of this area, and that's the point.
Okay. She'll kind of like crouch down and go, well, have you had your fun?
Well, I think that the patron would be happy.
All right, then. And she's going to open her coat back up.
She never liked ugly statues. As he crawls back into the coat. Nora, you've dusted it. Behind you, there's a crash. Guy's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. He's like trying to put the arm back. Like, when you like knock over a mug and you're trying to piece it back together. He's like sliding the arm with the lantern back to it.
Put it down. Don't do any more damage than you've already done.
I can fix it. And then he like slides here across the ground as he's like sliding the statue and trying to stand it back up. Come on, help me stand it back up. And he's like panicking, trying to get other people because I rolled an 18 and he knows who Nora is. He is freaking out.
So like I dust it for Prince. I think I would put like some sort of protective, like I'm pulling the Prince as quickly as I can, unfortunately, slapping them in my book. And then as I'm doing that, like then I go over and I'm like, stop it, get away. Oh, fuck. Like, and I'm swearing, like, and I'm just like, keepers take them all. And I'm so mad. Like, she's so mad, like under her breath, but she's like, the father can take them, the keepers can take them.
Listen, I didn't mean to. There was this ginormous snake that just literally was right there, and you point back, and Foxglove, are you even there anymore? Did you just...
Foxglove has stepped out to wave down and meet her assistant who was bringing the list. Yeah.
Okay, a guy runs back, hands you the assistant, and you see her through, and she's waving it. She gets paperwork on the other side. There's nothing in there. There's just the statue that's in there of whatever it is her statues are of, and that's it. And you see her grabbing paperwork for you. There's no snake anywhere. There's just a statue. Actually, is the statue of a snake in there as well?
Yes.
There's just a statue of a snake.
I look at him. I take like a deep like breath like through my nose. Like, has he been drinking? Does he smell like alcohol?
Everybody here has been drinking.
Does he smell like he's drunk enough to mistake a statue for a snake?
Ooh, no, he does not, actually. He had 4 drinks. I rolled how many drinks he had tonight.
Damn it. I'm going to take the forensic die. I'm actually going to take like my cord and start like making a little crime scene perimeter. I'm going to ask him to step back. Do not touch anything else. When I do the crime scene perimeter, same thing to Lillian over here. Please do not cross this.
Yep.
Trying to preserve the scene as best I can. And then I think I'm actually going to take like I said, the forensic die. I'm going to put in... I really don't think it's going to help that much, but what I'm going to do with my gloves on is I'm going to put in the whatever, if there's anything left in the drink from the glass that I got.
It's pretty empty. The cherry would be left in it, though.
Okay, so I'm going to take I grab this vial. I grab this glowing vial out of my pack. I put the cherry in there, shake it up a little bit. The substance turns red, like a reddish, kind of like a rust. And then I take some of it and I brush it over the mouth of the statue, the mouthpiece, whatever is left. And then I also brush it like on the hand where she's pulling out the stiletto from her hair.
Okay. And what does that do exactly?
Okay. When the dye comes in contact with an exact match for the activating chemical, it takes on a bright blue hue while staying transparent in areas where there is no activating component present.
Yeah, there's a bright blue hue.
Where? On the stiletto
lips,
or the mouth?
on the lips?
Lips?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then I ask for one of the other people who's been drinking, if I could borrow. So I do the same thing
you're
with
cross-checking? They're fine. There's nothing in it.
Miss Foxglove, I really need to know who that woman was, because I have a feeling she may have poisoned your mother-in-law.
She kind of flips through the pages a little bit.
Yep.
And looks down the list. And kind of like just points to one name, and she goes, I believe that this is the guest in question.
Are you giving her the real name, or are you giving her some rando?
I'll give her the real name of whoever
well,
whatever was signed in as.
I mean, it would be the Baroness is what her name is and what it actually is. My question is, are you giving that?
So basically,
would you do that? Or would you go, I don't like this person. Here you go.
I don't. So my thought process is I don't think that the Baroness necessarily would have signed in under her.
She would. No. She would have been here under her name. 100%.
If it's who I think it is, she absolutely would have been like,
Absolutely
no, bitch,
would.
I am who I am.
Yep. 100%.
I'm in your fucking city.
Yep.
Kick me out if you want. You're not going to be able to. Like, if it is who I think it is.
She would
She would
sign. You would know
sign
that.
under her
You know
name.
that this. You know that she is not part of the theocracy. They have no rule over her. Period. It's a different country.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
So there's basically, I could be like, I believe who it was, but it would be like,
It's up to you.
Yeah.
You could say it's her. I don't care what you do. That's up to you.
I don't have anybody to throw under the bus. I'm not hiding anything.
It says Baroness Brass and signed in a bronze ink. Or brass, sorry, a brass colored ink. You got society there, Nora?
I do.
Give me a roll. As we wrap up tonight.
I have to fill in my notes later.
So
but
bad. So bad.
26.
You know the Baroness Brass owns the largest brass works in Athantia, and Ingrad buys a lot of their brass works from her. She is in the mountainsides, just below Holdenar. The base, at the foot of the maw, there's a place called Worthington. Worthington is a multi-floored, a multi-leveled city. They have an entry point that you come from the main area. It's kind of like a gathering hub where people get off on the train. They can kind of stay there. There's a few hotels, but there is a lift system that takes you up into the mountains to the actual Worthington, and not just the like checkpoint. And that is where the Baroness is. The Baroness is outside of theocratic rule. Theocracy doesn't do anything. They can't do anything about her. She has her own rail line that she ships everything on. Like, this woman is above and beyond. If that was the Baroness who did this, that means that this woman is more important in some form or fashion than maybe you know. You know that she does, that Theodora Foxglove, the woman who hired you, which is also the mother to her deceased husband, is a very wealthy woman in a very wealthy family that does equine breeding. They actually breed horses, and horses are super rare in Athantia. So if there is some hate between these two, it may or may not even be related to this case.
No, but the thing that links them to the case now is that the drink that the Baroness had is also the drink that Theodora had.
Yes, that's the one thing that, like, yeah, her doing something to her is linked. But the case you're investigating right now, it might not have anything to
might
do
not
with.
be, yeah.
Is there anything else you want to ask Miss Foxglove? As you hear sirens in the background coming, and you hear people running downstairs to hear, you hear the sound of actual horses pulling a carriage on their way.
What was the relation between, do you know what the relationship was between Baroness Brass and your former mother-in-law? Have you had any dealings with her?
I am afraid I don't know how they would know each other necessarily. As you know, Baroness Brass is a, fine supporter of our reptilian friends, which brought her here today.
I asked her straight out. Have you had
God.
any relations with Baroness Brass, Miss Foxglove?
We're acquainted. She did make a generous donation today.
A large donation.
Anything beyond that? Anything, would she have had any ill will towards your husband or your mother-in-law?
Not as far as I know. I mean, granted, towards my mother-in-law, I don't think you can find many people around here who could say they necessarily enjoyed her company.
Oh, that's actually very true. She's a bitch.
But she's
That's
a mother.
100% truthful statement. Like, coming into this, you dealt with her. She is a condescending, old,
Right.
mean, moneyed bitch.
While she's saying, like, we're acquaintances, I really don't know why she would have anything, except that my mother-in-law's a bitch. Like, can I roll perception to see if
Yeah, you
there's a
can give me
lie
your
in
sense
there?
motive. Kelly's favorite die of all time is the sense motive. Ally, what is your will DC? The way that works is you take your total will save bonus and add it to 10.
I'm gonna find out. That would be... I'm so sorry, I'm just navigating this right quick.
Oh, yeah, you're still learning. That's why we're doing this.
Okay, so you said will
Yep.
plus 10?
Yep.
23.
I got 24.
Okay. I assume...
I rolled a 7 and I got a 24.
Fucking real. She doesn't have a high wisdom, that's right. So, and you're asking if they knew each other? That was the game plan? Like you wanted to know, do they actually know each other?
So while Lillian's talking about how, Baroness Brass made a large donation, she's very generous. I don't know exactly why she would have a reason to dislike my mother-in-law besides the normal aspects of my mother-in-law. Like, I'm trying to see, like, in that conversation if there's any lies.
No, actually, no. None of that was a lie. 100%. That was 100% true.
I meant more like...
Baroness Brass has no reason to hate Miss Foxglove more than any other person. The mother, Theodora Foxglove, than anybody other person.
Okay.
Everyone dislikes her. They're only around her for her wealth.
Well, I meant more for, like, in that, like, would there have been, like, a reason?
No animosity, no reason to kill her, no nothing, no more than anyone else who's actually here. Nobody likes her.
What I'm looking at is like everybody's a suspect, including myself, if we go with that route.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, that's what it feels like. And she's not lying. Like, it's not like there was like she stole from me. Like, there's no vendetta feeling. There's no vindictiveness. There's nothing. And then when she said, not that I would know, nobody really likes her, that was really honest. It was 100% a truthful statement.
All right. Well, I'm going to wait for the authorities to show up then.
So as the authorities are showing up and everyone's kind of making their ways a little bit, giving a little distance, you hear the Earth Guard show up. There is the sound of actual horses. I assume that Theodora is still married. Correct? Mm-hmm. So you would hear the sound of a carriage with actual horses showing up. And as everyone kind of moves about, waiting to be questioned, because I'm assuming Nora has went, nobody leave.
Also true. Nobody leave.
Question.
You're all considered persons of interest.
Over the shoulder of Foxglove standing in there, you would hear the Baroness's voice as we close out. She says, I did my end of the deal. That means that our pact is completed. You work for me, and I will help you. As for your mother-in-law, do you want her soul? Or do you wish me just to dispose of it?
I'll hang on to it for a short time.
So she hands you one of those blue and black ringed snakes. She says it's in here. Add it to your collection.
I will take the snake and make my way back towards the study area. I'm sure we can find a lovely habitat.
And how has my assistant been working out for you these last few months?
This company is greatly appreciated.
Excellent. I would recommend whatever this woman needs, you give her the information. They can't come after me. There will be
Of course.
There will be no trial. But be wary. She is smarter than the rest of the people in this room. Maybe not you, but the rest. I'll be on my way. I expect to see you in Worthington before year's end. And she puts a hand on your shoulder, and you can, like, hear the hissing of snakes in the background. As she steps back into the shadow, you hear her footsteps, and they fade away. So everyone shows up. Nora's questioning everybody, going through the process of asking everyone questions. The statue's shattered on the ground. The priests that are there determined that she no longer has a soul. She's totally departed. The soul must be in the area. But looking around, there's tons of spirits because we're in the middle of Hallows, which you as an investigator, that's a great way to cover up what you're doing.
Yep.
As there's probably a dozen just in the area roaming, and some people talk to them, some don't in Hallow. And as the camera kind of closes down, and it would just be on I'm assuming Foxglove kind of watching everything that is happening and taking in that this has went according to plan. The mother is now gone. You have your patron. You've been given a gift. As the chaos kind of just slowly it closes to just Foxglove's face. And I think we'll cut with Nora having a new investigation that's been ongoing. Nora, you can decide if you've solved this over the 10 years. That is up to you. It's pretty obvious that the Baroness did this, but that is a really hard thing to do. And now your client's dead, so guess you're not getting paid.
Well, not that it matters for present Nora.
Old Nora, broke Nora. I mean, you probably went back and talked to the husband and stuff like that. Maybe he picked up the mantle, but he would not hire you to investigate her death. He's like, it's okay. People have bad things happen. That would be what he would say. Look, no one likes her.
I'm like, you're also on my suspect list now, I guess. Like, damn.
No one likes her. She was a horrible human being. He says, if you have any questions or things that you need to know, I would be happy to answer them for you. Feel free to come to our track. We have a race tonight. I would be happy to show you. And this is like the same day that she died. If you'd like to show up,
Thank
you're welcome to.
Sir, for the invitation.
Here's a ticket. And he hands you a ticket for a race for the night. And then he, when he would also walk by Foxglove, my question to you, actually the closing scene should be this. Foxglove, do you get along with her husband? Is he a decent person?
He's fine. We're not buddy, but he respected.
Okay.
Is he the next target?
So he would say, I'm very sorry for your loss to you about, his son. And then, like, the statue on the ground he would look at. He goes, no, I guess mine as well.
Oh my God. She's just going to hand him a cigarette.
Oh, thank you. I'll see you at the races tonight. And he would walk off, seeing after he's been questioned, he would just leave. No fucks given. Koalas in the Rain playing in the background. If you don't know what that is, look it up. And then we would cut with the investigation closing and Nora having a bunch of paperwork and a bunch of shit to do in the office. And you, I'm assuming, giving her her own room within your house. So my question to help build character to you as the end to this is, how many of these snakes are just people's souls?
Yes.
That's what you're going to give me is just a yes?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so. Wait, are these snakes the snakes that came out of?
Oh no! All the ones in your all the ones that you have, all the ones that you own that are in your house. How many of those are people's souls?
No.
None of them.
No.
Or just hers?
Just hers. Okay. So there's one special. Is her cage small or large?
She has a room.
Is it a closet or a room?
It's a room.
Okay. She has a room to herself or with other snakes?
To herself.
Wow. Solitude. How rude. That's
it's
amazing.
A lovely room.
There's no
wonderfully furnished, overlooking the garden.
Are you going to keep the statue and have it put back together and keep it in your garden? I was going to say,
keep that statue, get it put back together.
In the garden?
Yeah.
No, of course not. It goes in her room.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Amazing.
So I could see it like I see like hanging cords to like hold the hand in place that was holding the lantern. So it's not actually back together. And it's just the broken statue in that room and the snake in there with her own body. I think that's a great way to end this. Thank you, everybody, for watching Side Quest. If this is your first time, there are plenty. There's all of Season 1, all of Season 2, and there are the episodes between episodes. We love doing these. They're short and fun, and, well, sometimes they're short. Sometimes they're really long. But they're a fun way to get into characters' backgrounds. So we got to see a little bit of Miss Foxglove's background. We don't know who she is. I'm getting the impression she's a little mysterious. It's my I think that's what I'm seeing, but we'll see how it plays out as we bring her in for our first episode in a week, which would be awesome. Nora, I'm sorry that you have another investigation.
I mean, I feel over the course of 10 years, I probably solved them both.
Maybe. We'll make a roll for that.
I don't think I would have solved any of Lillian's involvement with some of this, but the actual cases.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll find out.
And we'll probably have some of that conversation when we do our live show when she's sitting on the back of a train tied up. It's the first time you've seen her in however many years.
Making more enemies, or is this just a thing that you're into?
Yeah, right. Exactly. So that is it for the side quest, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed as much as we do. We will see you on Tuesday night, 7:10 for the pre-show, 7:30 for the live show, as we continue into episode 5 for season 2. I'm not going to give the name away here because, well, who knows when you're watching this. Thank you for watching this, everybody, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
You can say bye, Ally. You're part of the cast.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. Okay.
Even in that voice, she can say bye, I guess. I don't know what that is. I don't know. But see everybody. And remember, the tides will find you. Everybody, look up. Thank you for watching this episode of Side Quest. The boxes show all the other episodes from Season 1 and Season 2. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And most importantly, check us out over on Twitch. Our live shows are on the first and third Tuesday of the month, 7:10 p.m. for the pre-show and 7:30 p.m. CST for the live show. If you want more, come find us and get your Stream Loot cards ready. Help save the citizens of Merrifield.